a couple of notes for this game. Um, you're playing during ghoul hours and everybody's toxic, so I think that's one of your biggest mistakes. I think you just need to play in a 3-hour block at a consistent, regular, normal human being's time, you know, whatever that is, not during ghoul hours. Because everybody in this game felt toxic, and I think if you just paused for this axe and waited for him, maybe you could have easily won the game. But that's not really the important part. We'll get to the important part. I just want to see if anybody paused for this axe. Okay, this axe. DCs. Let's see if anybody pauses. Nobody has paused yet. He DC'd at like 18 minutes. No pauses yet. No pause. No pause. Not a single pause. No pause, no pause, no pause. No pause, no pause. No pause. No pause, no pause. No pause. No pause, no pause. No pause. No pause, 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 no pause. Okay, he was gone for 9 minutes, so if you maybe use 4 pauses, maybe he has enough time to come back, but that's really besides the point. So let's just say that the game was over at 18 minutes. So that's all you can evaluate. These are not normal games where you have a support that is where you have to lane 2v1 and your position 3 DCs. That is maybe 10% of your games if we're being generous, you know? So I think the 2 biggest mistakes is playing during ghoul hours and then also being tilted while playing during ghoul hours, because this whole thing screams that you're tilted. So that's point number 1. Let's write that down. 1 sec. Early game, well, stage 4 issues. Playing during ghoul hours and is probably tilted. Okay, so that's mistake number 1. Okay, so let's focus on the laning phase for a minute here. So the first mistake right off the bat is, let's talk about what the goal in this situation is, or what the desired outcome it would be in this lane. The desired outcome in this lane, right, since you're 2v1, is that the lane, or in any situation really, is that the lane stays here and that you're able to farm and, importantly, kill this range creep with your Q. That's the ideal situation. It's not going to happen every time, but that should be your goal, right? Your goal should be to maintain creep equilibrium here and kill the range creep with your Q. If you manage to do those 2 things, you will win this lane easily, because these guys are 2k bots, honestly. The amount of pressure that they put on you is the equivalent of a 2k bot. In your example, you asked if Yadoro could win this game. On the other hand, if Collapse was in this lane with not me or Rue, you would be 0 and 10 by like 5 minutes, but you weren't, and that's because these guys are bots, so you need to recognize that. So this is your first big mistake, is this move right here. By doing this, you're just going to push the wave up into their, he's going to cover the creep wave here, and then, or it's going to just keep pushing all the way to their tower. So the fix in this situation, because when you need to understand what happens when you draw creep aggro. When you draw creep aggro, it will push in their direction if he just kites the creeps backs, right? Because when the creeps come in your way, they're gonna kill the range creep, and then you're gonna have to kite them back. He can just get the range creep killed and deny it from you too, because you can't be in position to hit it, and then he's just gonna drag the wave back here and just hold it here, right? He's not gonna kill these creeps, he's just gonna tank them for a little bit, and then the creep wave is gonna come and meet him here, and then your next wave will also go up here, and they can permanently hold it here, and then they can make you 0 and 10 by 5 minutes. So you need to understand what happens when you draw creep aggro and when it's applicable and not. And that will allow you to maintain creep equilibrium, which will solve a majority of your laning issues. One thing that will obviously help immensely if you mess up, the way you fix it is by pulling the small camp, and then hopefully you clear the small camp and then the waves meet here and they permanently stay here. That's the ideal situation. So the counter to this, or one thing that they can do to punish you hard, is by pulling this camp. The bottom never does that because he's 2k, but yeah. So pulling yourself, because you have no support, you need to do it yourself. You need to go and pull the wave. So let's write that down. Early game, understand creep aggro and what it does to lane creep equilibrium, and then keep an eye on pulling small camp as a way to fix the lane, and also block large camp if possible. And one last thing for bonus is use your Q to secure the range creep. Okay. That's all I'm gonna focus on here, because that's already enough. So I'm just gonna play this through. Also, your camera is very bad. You need to be checking other lanes, and you need to be being aware of what's happening and not just keep it on you. And that's not just for the early game, that's for all phases, but also in the early game. So you can see if the Slark is actually getting destroyed, because if he's getting destroyed, you just need to do better than him, really. Anyway, this is a good example of creep aggro, right? Because these two range creeps are gonna die here, and you can prevent further lanes from pushing. Because if these two range creeps don't die, and then the next wave comes and there are 3 range creeps pushing, you need to, the lane will push pretty hard. So the number of range creeps determines in which direction the wave is going to push. That's an easy cheat, by the way. Bad creep aggro. Bad creep aggro, now the wave's pushing. This is good. You pulled the wave. Now hopefully you can farm these camps. So you have 15 last hits. That's not bad. That's pretty good. That's really good. Considering the situation you're in. You should not stack up with this Rubik so that this guy gets a double decay. Every time he uses decay, he's using on both of you, so he's getting double the value of the spell. So try to split off from the Rubik. Okay. You know, at this point, it's just better for you to jungle. So buy a set of tangos and just jungle. Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower. Killing spree! Killing spree!
It's not your job to save that tower. Your job is to play the cards that you're dealt.
Dominating! Radiant's top tower. Double kill!
Like, your camera needs to be on you only 20% of the time. 80% of the time, your camera should be looking somewhere else, ideally. You need to check bottom, you need to check top, you need to check everybody's items, you need to check their levels, you need to check the scoreboard. Yeah, your camera is on you and it's not moving. This is very bad.
Radiant's middle tower is
You know, and you can either be a dick to your axe who's having a hard time, or you can try and make his life easier by sacrificing a little bit of your shit, you know? Maybe you see that he's trying to farm that area and you go farm in some other area, you know? Your teammates, you need to help him so he can help you.
killing spree!
Yeah, also you need to be applying pressure while they are not doing anything. Just clear, you don't even need to hit the tower. When I say apply pressure, it just means go near the tower, clear the creep wave coming in and run away so that when the creep wave pushes into their tower, they have to rotate to handle the pressure that you just put on. You don't need to hit the tower itself, but yeah. So, okay, so mid game, apply pressure to lanes, help teammates, not be a dick. Pretend you're a night stalker and make moves during the night. And that's because of her innate. Camera management should be on you only 20% of the time. Always be checking. Late game doesn't apply in this review. Also, team fighting is very bad. Okay, so we've been going on for 14 minutes here, so 15 minutes here, so I think it's about time we wrap it up. And I will give you 3 things to work on. And I think whenever trying to decide what to work on, fixing your early game takes prior over fixing your mid game, which takes prior over fixing your late game. You know, you need to have a better start and they will make your life easier. So let's focus on the 3 things for the early game. You need to, yeah, let's say use creep aggro better to maintain creep equilibrium. Use creep aggro better to maintain creep equilibrium. And block small camp I mean, pull small camp, block large camp. If support is not doing it. So let's see. Smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, that. Okay. Sure, let's just say that's one goal. Okay. Second item. Okay. Better ability management. So better use your Q to secure the range creep 8 out of 10 times in the first 5 minutes. Sure. And lastly, pretend you're a night stalker because of your innate and make moves during the night, especially trying to convert allies feeding into advantages for our sub. Okay. I will put up notepad. All right. So yeah. So stage 4 issues means stuff not related to actual gameplay. Yeah. Also, last note is, why are you reviewing this game? This is one of those games where at 18 minutes you say this game is over. I can't. There's like better. You have limited energy. Spend it on better games where you actually can like deduce more from the game, where it's more normal, not as chaotic as this one. I mean, you could have still easily won this game, to be honest, but right now you can't, and you should focus your energy on more normal games. Good luck. Have fun.